Well, today we are going to make these really cute Christmas ornaments for the Dollhouse Christmas tree. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy they are to make. Alright, so we are going to make some ornaments today, and I've started some so that I can show you the second step and show you some things I did wrong on these. I'm experimenting with using pony beads for these. They're working okay so far. I'm not sure how secure they are in there. There's a few advantages to these, and I'm going to talk to you about the advantages of this method over the one I've shown you earlier at the end of the video. I'm going to pull out a couple of beads, and what I've got here, I've just got one of these bags of beads from the craft store. I bought another one the other day. It's a bag like similar to this, and this is just a couple of dollars and you get a ton of beads. Great if you're doing general crafting. But I pulled out a variety of beads here, and I have some eye pins. It's another thing you're going to need is some eye pins. An eye pin has a loop in the end of it, as opposed to a head pin that has a flat spot on the end, like a sewing pin. So to do this, we are going to cut our eye pin shorter than our bead is tall. And use wire cutters for this. Be safe. Don't take chances and use something that's not meant for wire cutting. All right, that one will fit this one. If you're using all one size bead, you can mass cut these by putting them all onto something to hold them, measure the first one, and then cut the rest of them into, as a group kind of. And watch where the ends of these pins go because they fly. What should be fine for that one? I'm going to do three of them on camera here, and then I will show you the next step on some I did yesterday. And when these are all done, when we get some all done, I'll show you how I'll compare them to the ones we made in the past. Alright, so to hold the eye pins in, we are using Scribbles 3D paint. You know how much I love this stuff. I use it for all kinds of stuff. This method of making ornaments, by the way, I saw in a miniature magazine. I don't remember what magazine, what issue, anything. I just remember seeing it and thinking, oh, that's pretty dang cool. So first you need to get your paint started. And the color of your beads and the color of your paint don't really matter. I usually use white, generally because white tends to discolor. And this is kind of messy. You can put it in one end, turn around, trying to fill the whole bead up with the paint. Stick that in and set it off to dry. These pony beads, this is just a regular pony bead, and I played with these last night, and they seem to work. Fill it up, and I kind of tapped it there to try and get it to go down. Now the secret with these, or the trick, is getting those to stay where you want them. Here's a kind of a clear bead. If you've got beads with really big holes in them, bigger than the head pins, this does work. And nice thing about these clear beads is you can, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but I can see where the paint's going. It's not quite all the way to the end, so I'm going to fill from this end now. Yeah, if you hear my son in the background, I just bought him Grand Theft Auto 5 for his birthday. All I've seen of him for the last several days is the back of his head. Right now he's playing online with his buddy. So we stick those down in there and we let them dry. And they're going to need to dry for a while. So while these are drying, I am going to set up and I'm going to show you how to finish off the ones I started yesterday. Alright, so I've got some I started yesterday. Some turned out better than others. This one's kind of crooked, but that's okay. I am going to put a double pointed knitting needle through the hole of the head of the eye pin. that allows me to be able to hold on to this, and then I've got a little dish that I can hang these over. And I've got nail polish. Love nail polish for doing things like this, which you guys probably already know. And then you just need to, and it's going to take several coats because especially on this bead that's kind of clear. But we're just going to paint it like we would our nails. And this should dry pretty much like it does on your nails. It's a very similar surface. And we're going to hang it like that. This blue is kind of translucent, so it may not be a perfect choice, but I think it'll work. Then I've got a red. These both happen to be glitter. And yeah, I'm using Avon nail polish because I sell Avon, so I've got tons of Avon nail polish. There is a link in the description box of my videos if you ever want to buy any, or you can buy online. So we're going to do the red. And this is not the last time we are going to visit these ornaments. It's a nice, I'm not under camera anymore. Oh, that one's turning out gorgeous. I'll have to do the top after this all dries. I'm sorry he's being so noisy. Hopefully that's not carrying through into the audio because he's not using the best language out there. But they're really into this game. So we are going to paint this with the red. I love this red. So I'm going to let these dry. When this is dry, I'll probably put a second coat on all of these and let that dry. And after 2 or 3 coats are dry, I'll come back and we'll finish off the tops, and then we'll compare them to ones we made before. Alright, so I think the blue one is still wet. It had a tendency to drip to the bottom a lot because of the shape. So you have to watch those. These are ready to go. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to finish these two. If you have any of the paint at the top, just see if I can float this in without making too much of a mess. I'm just going to hopefully that's coming out on camera. Can you see? Kind of, not really. See if I can get you guys down a little closer. I'm just taking the brush and just, whoops, trying not to get it onto the eye pin. If you get it on the eye pin, just use a Q-tip later to clean that part up. It shouldn't hurt it any. If your fabric paint sinks down on either the top or the bottom, just fill it back in and allow it to dry before you put the nail polish on. And next week I'm going to have a bunch of these done in different colors, and I'm going to show you how to decorate a few of them. I might make that actually a 2 or 3 week process because I've got several ideas. I'm going to see how they work. So now you've seen how these look. They're nice because they've got the bottom is colored. The advantages to these, you can use any beads no matter what color they are. If you've stocked up on like clear or white beads, those are great. You don't have to make the little loop since an eye pin has the loop pre-made for you, and a lot of people are very intimidated by trying to bend that. The disadvantage, especially on these bigger beads, I'm not sure how well the hook is going to stay in. It should be okay, but you know, you probably don't want to handle these as much. They probably are not as secure of a bead. If you've got a really pretty bead, you're going to cover it with polish, so that's a downside. The ones I showed you before are like this one and this one. And these use a head pin, which means you have that little metal piece on the bottom, which means that always shows. So you've always got that. And if that's too small for your bead, you've got to add an extra bead to it. And if you're not comfortable making a loop at the top, That might be a drawback for you. The advantages of these, you can still see your bead. These are much quicker to make. So it's up to you. And these you can make your loops any size. So depending on your tree, if you've got thicker branches on your tree for some reason, you can use a bigger loop on your head pins. And I think these, unless your hole in your bead is really just about the same size as your head pin, I think these are much more sturdy. I think they're not going to come apart if they get tugged on, where I'm not 100% sure that if you pull on these that those won't come out. So as I see it, those are the pros and cons of the different Christmas ornaments. That being said, next week I'm going to show you how to decorate ornaments, and they will work for, my decorating techniques will probably work for these as well as for these. But I will talk to you then. Bye.